Hey, Ken, thank you so very much for joining us. So first things first, the World Baseball Classic is going to be incredibly exciting. But for someone who's not as familiar with this, what is it, first of all? And just kind of take me through how exciting and just the atmosphere of this entire event, because it's really something special.
Breland, what makes it so cool is to see all the best players in the world playing for their countries. And as this tournament has progressed, they've gotten an increased number of these players willing to commit. At first, it wasn't that big a deal for a lot of players, especially the U.S. players. But over time, it has really come on. In 2017, the U.S. won. In 2023, the U.S. finished second to Japan, with Shohei Ohtani striking out Mike Trout for the final out. And the atmosphere in these games is incredibly intense. It's different than a playoff game or a World Series game in Major League Baseball because you have the national element involved. And the last tournament was one of the great things I've ever covered in my career. And I've covered a lot of things. And this thing stood out to me. The games were so exciting. And again, just to see the best players, I'll give you an example of the United States, all on one team for the most part, that is really something special.
Yeah, you think about it, Aaron Judge, Paul Skeens, of course, Bryce Harper. The star power is endless for Team USA. You can expect them to be going the distance probably, right, Ken?
I would expect they're going to go deep in the tournament. As for winning the thing, I don't know, Breland. And the reason for that is, if you look at the Dominican Republic roster, it is every bit as star-studded as the U.S. Maybe the pitching isn't quite as good, but they've got on one team Juan Soto, Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado, Ketel Marte, Geraldo Perdomo, Julio Rodriguez. The list goes on and on. So they're going to be really good. Japan is always really good, even though Ohtani will not be pitching in this tournament, or so we are told. So those three teams, to me, are the favorites, but you could see Venezuela or Mexico or any number of other countries maybe take a step up here. And there's no fait accompli as far as the U.S. winning, that is for sure. They will have their work cut out for them.
Well, their first game will be on Friday against Brazil, 8 o'clock. You will be there. You will be on the sideline. How excited are you, and what can we expect out of this matchup?
I'm really excited. And as I said, Breland, I love covering this tournament. It is just one of the cooler things that I get to do, one of the cooler things that fans can see. As for the Brazil matchup, well, the U.S. team on Wednesday and Thursday beat the San Francisco Giants and the Colorado Rockies in exhibition games by a combined score of 29-5. Brazil doesn't have many Major League players. I don't know that they have any Major League players. They have the sons of a couple of former Major Leaguers, Dante Bichette Jr. and Joseph Contreras, who's the son of Jose Contreras, the former pitcher. But I would expect this one to be a mismatch. Mexico and Italy, they have stronger teams, and the U.S. plays them later in this pool play part of the tournament.
Of course, you can watch this all on Fox. And Ken, for you, how exciting and how fulfilling is it to be able to not only see this competitive spirit, but also get to know a little bit of these lesser-known athletes, some of their stories, and just kind of see that national pride really coming to play on this world stage?
That's a really good point, Breland, and it is a very cool part of this. And I remember the last tournament, Great Britain kind of went on a little run, and they had a prospect at the time, Harry Ford from the Mariners, a catcher, and now he is with the Nationals, but he was kind of their symbol. He was coming on, he was doing some big things. Now I believe he's their captain. So you do see these kinds of stories emerge. You see players playing for countries that you might not associate with them. Jazz Chisholm Jr. is going to be playing for Great Britain. And you have Aaron Nola and Jack Caglianone and a bunch of others playing for Italy. So this part of it, just seeing the guys playing for different countries, and yes, seeing some of these unsung players emerge in this tournament, that is definitely a very cool part of it.
It's going to be incredible. And speaking of, that final will be in Miami on Tuesday the 17th. And I know that you said it's kind of a little bit more open, but that atmosphere is going to be electric down in Florida, I'm sure.
Really electric and really loud. And in fact, I'll tell you a story. It's a little bit of an inside TV story, but let's go. So in my job, I have to wear an earpiece in my ear. We call it an IFB. And I always wore that in one ear. And the last WBC in Miami, it was so loud, I now wear them in both ears with noise reducing things going on. So it's a little bit easier for me. So I'm looking forward to those games in Miami with the rock star kind of headset, as opposed to what I had the last time when I couldn't hear it all. It will be incredible in Miami.
The fact that you had to forego your IFB to actually even hear is unbelievable. Ken, there's a lot of really fun events coming up this season. Not only, of course, do you have the World Baseball Classic, which is how we're kicking things off here this spring. You're also coming to Philadelphia for the All-Star game. You're a Penn guy. That has to be just an amazing experience for you ahead, especially because it's the 250th anniversary of America.
Of course. And yes, coming to Philadelphia for me is always really special because I did go to Penn. I did work for the Courier Post in South Jersey for 2 years, so I'm quite familiar with the area. I've got a ton of friends still there. And as for the 250th anniversary and the game being there to mark this commemoration for the United States, it's going to be really something. And I think the players will be really fired up for it in an extra way. There's an extra level here of emotion that we'll see from the guys. And especially coming off the WBC, when there's an increased sense of national pride among the players, it will make that game that much more special.
I think so too. Before I let you go here, I know that you've got a jam-packed couple of days coming up. So take me through a little bit of what your schedule looks like, because I'm sure it's a lot, to say the least.
Yeah, well, not only do I work for Fox, I write for The Athletic. So I have two things working at all times, and that's not just in the WBC, but the whole season and the whole off season. So I will do the game Friday night. This is just one example. And then I will write after the game on some topic relevant to what had happened. And then we'll get up and do it again Saturday. We have an off day Sunday, and then we play 2 more games in a row. And yeah, it can sound a little grueling, but my goodness, I'm like the luckiest person to get to do this. I never forget that. And in this kind of event, it's almost like playoff baseball. The adrenaline really keeps you going. And again, Breland, as I said, I don't want to repeat myself, but it's cool to be a part of it in any way, and reporting on it is really a lot of fun.
Oh, you're going to have an absolute blast. Have so much fun here between the 4th and the 17th. Ken, thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you.